In this episode, I want to challenge you to rethink your real job title. Your business card may say owner or founder or CEO or general manager, but none of those truly describe your real job. I want to boldly declare that you, as the business owner, are really a drug dealer. I'm not trying to be demeaning, but you need to know the truth. Want to know why I believe this? Let's get into it.
Welcome to Why Business Teams Fail and How to Avoid It, a show helping small business owners build a radically engaged team that can run the business without you so you can remove the stress from owning a business and enjoy the freedom you deserve. Now, here's your host, Rich Allen.
Today you'll learn that as a business owner, you have one primary role, and that is to create a circle of safety around your team. That treating your employees with respect and dignity will bring you the kind of benefits you've been seeking in your business and your life, and that the environment you create and allow in your place of work is everything when it comes to generating exceptional results in your business. Here's my question for you this week. Do you have a solid understanding of the drugs you're dealing to your team members on a daily basis? You may be a bit confused and perhaps even offended that I would call you a drug dealer rather than describing your role as the business owner in a more favorable light. If you are confused or offended, stick with me and I promise you'll understand why. And before we're done, you'll thank me for being so direct and clear with you. Let me assure you that I'm not the one who came up with the idea that you're a drug dealer. I'm actually sharing an idea and concept that was introduced by the one and only Simon Sinek. I'm sure you've heard of Simon Sinek before. He authored the now famous book, Start With Why, and can regularly be found doing keynote speeches mainly centered on how to create a great work culture. If you haven't read Start With Why yet, you must put it on your must-read list. It's fundamental to creating a business that's centered on a compelling purpose and mission. While I really like his book, Start With Why, his later book, Leaders Eat Last, is the one that I absolutely was captivated by. I suppose it's because of my military background, but the lessons he shares from watching naval officers lead their troops really hit home with me. In his book, Leaders Eat Last, Simon makes the point that your job as the business owner or as a senior leader in the business is to create and maintain a circle of safety for your employees so they can confidently serve your customers without having to constantly worry about the dangers that are lurking outside the business. Simon believes that if you create that circle of safety for your team members, you'll experience a free flow of ideas and information that will move your business forward faster. Think about it. When your team members don't feel safe, they tend to be more hesitant to share for fear of the consequences. They tend to worry about their own safety and aren't that willing to put themselves out there for others on the team. That shows up as being protective, defensive, disengaged, and aloof. And when multiple team members are behaving that way, nothing good comes from it. So you may be wondering how you create this circle of safety for your team. Glad you asked. This is where Simon introduced the idea that as a business owner, you're constantly dealing out drugs to your team. And depending on the kind of drugs that you're dealing, you'll either enhance the circle of safety or break down the circle of safety. Which begs us to take a few minutes to dive into some details on the drugs that you're most likely dealing out day in and day out. Based on Simon's background in biology and anthropology, he's determined that anyone in a leadership position is dealing out 4 what he calls happy chemicals to everyone's brain and body on a regular basis. Leaders are also dealing out 1 very toxic chemical as well, and we have to be very careful on how frequently we deal out this one particular drug. Let's focus on the 4 positive or happy chemicals first. The first 2 happy chemicals are selfish chemicals because they help individuals get things done. They're known as the chemicals of progress. The first one is endorphins. You may have heard of the phrase runner's high. That happens when endorphins are surging through your body. Endorphins help mask the pain that's caused by long, difficult workouts, whether in the gym or when you're out for a long run. Their purpose long ago was to help hunters endure long, difficult hunting expeditions where they had to suffer through grueling heat or freezing cold in order to track down their prey so they could eat. Today, long-distance runners, among other athletes, become addicted to the sensation that happens when their endorphins kick in and mask out the pain of a difficult challenge. As a leader in today's workplace, you may need to introduce some exercise-related activities to get sedentary workers up and moving from time to time, or over an active lunch break, to allow the endorphins to kick in. Endorphins are selfish in that they benefit only the person who's getting the energy boost from this pain-masking chemical. The second of the selfish, happy chemicals is dopamine. Dopamine is a dangerous chemical, but only when it's abused. Dopamine is the achieving, completing, and getting things done chemical. It's the reward for accomplishing something. Outside the workplace, dopamine is what fuels addictions, whether drugs, alcohol, or gambling. Someone who gets a high and then soon after wants that feeling again is reacting to the dopamine hit. In the workplace, it can often be seen when someone's on a commission sales program. When they get a big win, they get a big shot of dopamine by getting paid a big commission. And once they experience it, they want to do it again and again. That's the good part, but it's also a very selfish chemical, in that someone who's on a high commission compensation plan won't readily share their leads or help others be successful because it would undermine their reward. As a business owner, how you structure your pay and bonus plans will have a lot to do with the level of dopamine that flows in your organization. Some is good, but dopamine is not always rational. It's very addictive, even if it relates to knocking things off your to-do list. While dopamine is classified as a happy chemical, when someone gets addicted to it, it can make them behave irrationally. This chemical requires extreme caution when building it into your work programs. The next 2 happy chemicals are called selfless chemicals, in that they work to help strengthen social bonds, foster connections, and improve collaboration. The first selfless chemical is serotonin. Serotonin is the chemical that a person gets when they're told that they're trusted. This happy chemical flows when you delegate an assignment and let the person know you have confidence that they can get the job done. This also flows when you announce a promotion or give someone additional authority and autonomy. No one wants to be micromanaged. They would rather be given the responsibility while being told without question that their leader has confidence in their knowledge and abilities to accomplish the task assigned. The cool part of the serotonin chemical is that it surges through the person who's being trusted as well as the person who's doing the trusting. So this chemical flows both ways. And if you think about it, it makes sense. When you tell someone you trust them, you feel good about yourself for giving your trust away, just as much as the person who's being trusted feels good about receiving the trust they're being given. Try this and you'll feel it for yourself. The second selfless chemical is oxytocin. You probably are familiar with this chemical. It's the chemical that caused you to marry your spouse. It's known as the love chemical. Oxytocin flows when someone feels safe, protected, and secure. It's that warm feeling you get when you're snuggled up to someone watching a great movie together. In the workplace, this can come from simply shaking hands or placing your hand on someone's arm or shoulder. It's clearly not okay to touch someone inappropriately in the workplace, but don't underestimate the impact that a firm two-hand handshake can have to express the "I've got you, you're in good hands" feeling. Oxytocin and serotonin result in more cooperation and collaboration in the workplace. Yet far too many workplace environments are void of these two important chemicals. They may not drive the bottom line results directly, but they do have a significant impact on how your team members will feel about their role in the business. As the business owner, you must be dealing out these two selfless chemicals on a regular basis. So there you have the 4 happy chemicals that you're dealing out: endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. It's important that all of these are in the mix. It's just important to be cautious with dealing out the dopamine. But as I mentioned earlier, there's one final chemical that you're dealing out, and it's the toxic one. The toxic chemical you're dealing out is cortisol. As you probably know, cortisol is a steroid hormone that plays a crucial role in the body's stress response. It obviously has a good purpose, but it can cause other negative side effects. Cortisol is important because it helps the body mobilize energy and increase blood pressure when a stressful event happens. If the fire alarm goes off or you hear a loud bang, your body instantly releases cortisol so you can respond quickly in case of danger. But if someone is constantly under stress or in a dangerous situation, their levels of cortisol can have harmful effects on the body. It's understandable if someone lives in a war zone, but imagine someone living in an unsafe urban setting or having street crime on a regular basis or being in an abusive relationship. Those are terrible situations, and we don't want anyone to have to live that way. But now imagine that there's a high level of stress or a constant state of urgency in your workplace. How do your team members react to that situation? Their cortisol levels go high and stay high for extended periods of time, and this is not good. As a result, they may have high blood pressure, their immune system is suppressed and can become weakened, and their mood and memory can also be affected. Needless to say, as business owners and senior leaders, we must be sure that the workplace is not often under stress. We've got to minimize the workplace fire drills, the frantic last-minute rush jobs, and the extreme deadlines that happen over and over again. This can only happen when you, as the business owner, are aware of, concerned about, and manage expectations to minimize the high-stress work environment. So there you have it. You're dealing out 5 very specific chemicals or drugs on a daily and weekly basis. How you manage this important responsibility will determine whether your workplace is a circle of safety or a place of high stress and anxiety. I strongly encourage you to pick the former, not the latter. And I would also strongly encourage you to get and read Simon Sinek's book, Leaders Eat Last. You'll be glad you did. As we wrap up today's podcast, let me leave you with these simple thoughts. Number 1, being a business owner means that you're the primary drug dealer in your business. You must be mindful and intentional about it. Number 2, there are 4 happy chemicals that need to be balanced in your business: endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. And number 3, you must be cautious about the amount and frequency of cortisol that's being dealt out in your workplace. Too much can cause serious mental and physical damage to your team members. Good luck creating your very own circle of safety for your employees. If you'd like some additional support in this area or want to tap into our free resources, simply go to my website, tourtoprofit.com. You'll find everything you need there. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to tune in next week when we're going to discuss finding the bottleneck in your business. You won't want to miss it. Now, go make it a great week, and whatever you do, ride hard.
Thank you for listening to Why Business Teams Fail and How to Avoid It. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends so you don't ever miss an episode. Now go make it a great week, and whatever you do, ride hard.